Hi. Hi, everyone. It's Tina Rake again. Just Tina Rake, actually. But, I have it listed as Tina, so here we go. But my real name is Justina Rake, and I am a dream life coach. Let me tell you a little bit about what a dream life coach does, I can do. So, as a dream life coach, I am trauma informed. I'm a trauma informed coach who supports clients in creating a life they love and to keep it. I can help you gain clarity for what you want, rewire automatic thinking, heal from your past hurts, build your belief on what is possible, and retrain your subconscious expectations so you can know exactly what to do and make your dreams happen. If that's something that you would like to explore, contact me. Okay, so my topic today, I chose the topic of marriage advice. And the reason being is that, um, well, because as a coach, there's a difference between getting advice and helping people to find their own way in life. Um, Getting advice from others can be harmful and also can create other problems. So I've been on this a marriage advice Facebook page for a bit on a group, and some of the things that I've seen, I'm just kind of like, oh, really, guys? So I thought I would read a few things off for you. I didn't use any names or anything like that. I just wanted to use some some examples, I guess. So there's one here. The question was, sorry, I'm going to move this a little bit. I am a verbally abused. I'm in a verbally abusive marriage. My husband gets very nasty verbally when we have arguments. Communications has always been a big problem in our marriage, and he will call me all types of nasty stuff. I'm over it. Every time we get into an argument, he will choose to sleep in a different room. He will give me the silent treatment for days, and one time for a month long, he did not talk to me. On the other hand, when we don't argue, he is the most charming man. I'm so confused and I feel trapped. I'm always scared not to piss him off because everything is always my fault. I'm educated, I have a good job, and yet I feel it hard to walk out of the marriage. I'm also a Christian and I ask God for help with this. Does God want this for me? I am so confused right now. Part of me wants to leave and another part wants to stay and fight for our marriage. We have children and they can sense when I'm not okay because I shut down. My smile goes away, and we both come from broken families. And the thought of raising my kids in two homes scares me. So the advice was, this is interesting. The advice was, stop having arguments. And no, God does not only doesn't want this, he hates it. The Bible is clear. You are bound for life. You need to get into scripture and study what it is to be a godly wife. Watch the movie War Room. It'll give you an idea of what you should do, regardless of what your husband does. God will restore your marriage if you start obeying God first. Now, I want to ask you, do you think that was helpful? Stop arguing. Learn what it means to be a godly wife. I think that was a little condemning. Like, why is it the wife has to learn how to be a godly wife and the husband doesn't have to learn how to be a godly husband? Because the Bible is clear on men are to love their wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for it. That's pretty clear, the man's role in the marriage. I think that's pretty clear. But do men ever take that? That was a man's advice, by the way, to this woman. I find that so degrading and so old-fashioned. Anyways, here's another one. I'll just read this to you. Question. I am a stay-home mom, and I've been with my boyfriend for 4 years now, and we have a 2-year-old. I haven't been happy for the last 2 years, and at first thought it was because at first I thought it was because I just had a baby and was diagnosed with postpartum disorder. But it just continued to get worse. I've expressed multiple times to him that I'm not happy, nor have I been for a while, and reason as to why I'm unhappy and why I feel the way that I do. And he always just brushes it off and ignores it, and it creates an argument. I told him that I'm at the point where if he isn't helping fix our relationship, that I'm just ready to be done with it, which he replied, I know you won't leave me because you wouldn't last 2 months above water without me. You have nothing. Then continued to just stare at me while I cried at his answer. I'm at a loss for words. I feel like the last 2 years, he's been pushing me, thinking I won't leave because I haven't worked for 2 years and we have a family. I've brought up the idea of me getting a job several times over the last year, which he said I wouldn't have time to take care of our son then, and I would have to put him in daycare, which wouldn't be true since I have a huge supportive family that would love to help with our son while I work a few hours in a few days a week. I've given up all of my hobbies that include leaving the house and only really leave to visit my family anymore. And anytime I do, he always has to start a fight the same day or while I'm out visiting and he's working. He doesn't help around the house unless I continually ask him to. And then I'm told I'm nagging, which I could see that way. But if I don't keep asking, he won't help and never offers to do anything. I feel like a single mom, yet I'm in a relationship. Keep in mind that today's argument started because I bought myself something out while I was out for grocery shopping that cost a total of $4. I need advice. So the advice that she received was, yes, leave him. You're not married, which makes things easier. Just walk away. You have a supportive family, and that will help you to take care of your son and get a job. You'll work your way toward independence and put you on the road to a better self-esteem. You're young and you can start a brand new life. And then somebody else replied, this is why we don't live with a boyfriend. We get married. It's not just a piece of paper. This is the problem. There is no true commitment and responsibility when living together. When you're married, it is much different. So now you need to stand on your own 2 feet. Get a full-time job and start providing for yourself and your child. Then get out of that house. I just think, I wonder if she felt supported in that. Like, she's obviously unhappy and they're not married. But does it matter if you have a piece of paper if you're not happy anyways? A lot of these people on here are married and asking for advice, and some of them are horrendous situations. And a lot of times they're told that God hates a divorce. Satan loves to divide the family, and that's it. It's like, but God has allowed divorce for the hardness of your heart. And he's not talking about the woman necessarily. More often than not, it is the man's heart that is hardened, and they will have affairs or mistreat. And anybody who mistreats a woman, that is not what God has in store for women. That is not. We are his daughters. We are the daughters of a king. Think about that. Royalty. We are a royal family. Our husbands, our spouses, our boyfriends are sons of, and we are the daughters of. And you think about how most good parents will look at their daughters and how they will treat their daughters. There's something very special about their little girls. And our Abba Father looks at us the same way. We are a delight in his eyes, and he dances over us and he sings over us, all of us, male or female, but especially his daughters. Especially his daughters, because we are prized. So the way that these people answer them, it just leaves them stuck there thinking, okay, I'm going to say this. This is a Christian marriage advice site. And it's more condemning than it is good advice. All right. I have another one here. Question. Hello, everyone. I really need help. My husband wants to go to bed at 3 a.m. and I want to go to sleep at 9 p.m. It's been a source of tension and I need suggestions on how to fix this. We have spoken about it. While I do understand his point of view, I still feel horrible that we don't sleep together most of the nights. So one of the advices was, really, something so tiny, the both of you are fighting about it. Those hours are similar to my wife's and my hours. It's not a big deal. Why force a person to sleep early when he or she is unable to sleep? That would cause you to be kept up all night until that person falls asleep. Pathetic. Ended it with pathetic. It's enough when you end a statement or comment with an exclamation mark, but to call somebody pathetic is not helpful. Is not helpful. In the world today, we have enough troubles. We have enough negative words coming at us that we don't need to be called pathetic when we're asking for help, when we're asking for suggestions. So, and yeah, there are people who have different sleep patterns, and it happens in marriage. So I don't know if he's not working all those hours, like if he's not a night shifter or whatever, I would ask why he's up at 3 a.m. in the morning until 3 a.m. What is he doing? The whole house is sleeping. But even so, we give advice when really we need to be supporting somebody to find their own way. That's what a coach does. So I'm going to read another one here. And this one is really interesting. I found it very interesting. I'm just going to go over here. Question. For anyone saying just leave, I need to know, and I am trying. It's just not that easy. I myself have issues that make it so much harder as well. I'm slowly trying to gain the courage to leave. Taking this piece of my life back is the first step for me. I'm in a relationship with an extreme narcissist, and I'm in the process of slowly trying to take back my life and leave, but I'm working on my courage. My question is, when is the best time to defy them? Defy in quotes. There's things like that I'm not allowed in quotes to do that I've decided I'm going to do anyways because I'm a grown woman and there's nothing wrong with them, but I do it while we're fighting. While he's giving me the silent treatment, do I do it while we're fighting and while he's giving me the silent treatment and while we're in a good moment? I don't want him to think I'm doing it in spite because we are in an argument, but I also don't want to start a fight in a small window of good moments. Which one will cause the least amount of blowback for me? I know there will be either way, but I'm trying to do this at least the least confrontational as possible. So the advice was just leave. A true narcissist has a psychological disorder. Nothing we/you can do to save them or change them. And she replied back, I know, and I'm totally aware it will blow back on me no matter what. It's just not that easy to just leave. That's the problem. I have my own issues, abandonment, and basically Stockholm's, as far as I'm concerned. So it makes it really hard to just get up and leave. But I'm trying to slowly gain the courage. This is the first step to that. And a male response was, it takes two to ruin a marriage. And her response was, definitely not. I have never been anything but good to this man. I waited on him hand and foot and gave him everything. I had spent everything, and I had spent every penny on him, to the point where I can't afford to eat just to make him happy. I did everything he ever asked for. None of what he has done was called for, and you are trying to defend him shows me that you are no different. I will pray for your spouse. Her response back again was, this man has done more damage to me than I even realize. I'm not talking about anything about bad. I'm loyal and a good woman. I'm just talking about taking a piece of my life back that he stole from me. Maybe we could ask questions to learn more about the situation before being so quick to judge my character. And then his response back was, just explaining everything away as a narcissist is ridiculous. It means nothing. And you promise to love even in the bad. It takes two to ruin a marriage. You're not as good as we think you are. We're not as good as we think we are. And her reply, he won't even acknowledge me as his girlfriend after 2.5 years and living together unless it benefits him. Again, please don't assume when you haven't got all the facts. My question was, when I was reading that, was, why are we arguing with somebody who's going through something? Why are we imposing our own opinions onto somebody who's in pain? Obviously in pain. What happened to compassion? What happened to asking the right questions that could lead that person into self-reflection and truly examine their own heart? What happened to asking, what do you want? What do you really want in the middle of all this? It's like, what happened to that? So I was looking at the differences between, there's a quote, it's the differences between mentoring and coaching. So mentoring is imparting to you what God has given me. So if I was to mentor, it would be imparting to you the wisdom that God has given me. I didn't see much wisdom in those statements, by the way. Sorry, I just need a drink. So that's mentoring. Mentoring is imparting to you what God has given me. Coaching is drawing out of you what God has put in you. And that was written by Dale Stahl. So as a coach, I don't give you my wisdom. I draw out of you what God has already put into you, because you have autonomy. You have the right to your own life, to create your own life. You have the right to have a good life, and you have the right to direct your life. And as a coach, I can help you do that by finding out exactly what do you want. And we call that clarity. That's coach speak, but that's what it's called. It's called clarity. So going back to that, I can help you gain clarity for what you want. And then we can rewire automatic thinking and help you to heal past your past hurts, and build up your belief in what is possible and what you can do, and retrain your subconscious mind and to shift those expectations, because we don't even realize how much of our programming comes from when we were kids and how we grew up and our parents and how they perceive life. So that is what a coach can do for you. Also, there's another quote that I found. It says, "Coaching is like having a personal trainer for every area of your life." And we all know that a personal trainer is a gift because they will help you correct your posture when you're in the gym. They will help you design a program that is fitting for you specifically and your needs and your goals. So a coach does much the same. Um, it's not so much physical posture, but it's mental and emotional and thinking posture, I guess you could call it. I remember when I had a personal trainer teach me about, like, I have C-spine. I have some back issues, and I always thought lift. I can't lift at the gym anymore. So I had a personal coach watch me, and see how I was doing things. And I learned that I was poking my chin out way too far when I was doing stuff. And what that does is it engages the neck muscles instead of the back muscles where I was wanting to work. So she told me, put your chin down, tuck it in, and look at the floor, not up or straight ahead. Look at the floor. So it drops your whole neck. And it instantly took all the pressure off my neck. And I didn't have any problems after that. So I'm super aware of my physical state when I'm working out. I'm constantly aware of that correction that I need to do. That's what my personal trainer did. As a life coach, after going through the clinical skills and getting my Dream Life coaching certificate and also going through the 90-day U-turn program, what happened was I got an adjustment in how I view my life and how I think. And even with the negative thoughts, I always thought nobody loved me. There's a little book I did a Toastmaster speech with. It's Nobody Loves Me, Nobody Cares. And the first time I heard it read, I cried. I cried because that's how I felt. The first time I did a speech on it, I had to do a speech on, I think it was 5 to 7 minutes. And I used the book. It was on editing. That's right. That's what it was. I think it was 10 minutes. Anyways, I did that speech and I used that book and I edited because it's a little bit long. So I had to edit a lot of stuff out. And the head Toastmaster that day had introduced me. He introduced the speakers. And as I was going through it, he was crying. He was crying. Why? Probably because those thoughts are in his mind also. So I had a shift. I had a thought shift. I had a whole shift. And I'm thankful for my coach, and I'm thankful for the tools that I've learned and how I can help others. So if you are interested in a life coach that can help you shift your thinking and rewire your subconscious mind and give you more of that positive, dreamy life, actually build your belief on what is possible so that you can dream again, I would love to hear from you. I do marriage coaching, but it's kind of like relationship coaching because everything is related to relationship. I don't coach couples necessarily, but I coach the women. I specifically work with women and I help them build the belief that they can have a better life and that they can have a better marriage if that's what they want. Or even if they choose not to stay in their marriage, that they can build a better life forward for them and their kids. So I want to leave this other thought with you. Yes, God doesn't like divorce, but he allows it for the hardness of your heart. And there's lots of scripture that we could really dig up that. And the one thing I would love to actually leave you with is that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that whosoever should believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And God forgives every sin. Every sin. He forgives the murderer as well as the divorcee on equal terms. He forgives the liar. He forgives the thief. He forgives every sin. He is bigger than we are. We are so judging, and it's not our job. That is totally not our job. So I hope that this has helped you somewhat. Be careful who you ask for advice from. I used to tell my story to people. I was a divorcee. I am remarried. We're going to be 18 years married this May. And I carried that shame for a long time. And I am so done with that because God has forgiven me. People don't forgive. People don't let you forget either. But I don't listen to people anymore. I really don't. Why? Because it's not their life. When I die, I have to stand before God as judge. And when I stand before him, I stand alone. Not with anyone else who has given me advice or has been there in my life. We each come before God alone. And the only person that God sees, because I am a believer in Christ, I have been bought with the blood of Christ, the only person that God sees on that judgment day is Christ standing in front of me. He doesn't see me, he sees the blood of Christ, and that's it. Now, if that doesn't give you hope, I don't know what will. But I would love to hear from you. You can comment, leave a comment, and I will check the comments and we can move forward. So if this sounds like something you'd like to do, I'm here for you. I'm open for business. All right. Love you guys. Mwah.